सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् अज्ञात्वा ते महत्त्वं यदिह निगदितं विश्वनाथ क्षमेथः स्तोत्रं चैतत्सहस्रोत्तरमधिकतरं त्वत्प्रसादाय भूयात् वेधा नारायणीयं श्रुतिषु च जनुषा स्तुत्यता वर्णनेन स्फीतम् लीलावतारैरिदमिह कुरुताम् आयुरारोग्य सौख्यम् आयुरारोग्य सौख्यम्.
Guru Pavanapure Hantabhagyam Janana. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. One of the avatarams of Bhagavan that came as a pair, a dvandvam, was this avataram called as Nara-Narayana Avataram. The place where it took place and all the incidents around this avataram is believed to be the current day Badarikashramam or Badrinath in the state of Uttarakhand by the banks of river Alakananda. Here comes the Shloka as we were discussing as to the birth of Dharma Devata with Murti giving rise to Nara-Narayana. As they were performing penance came an asura called as Sahasra Kavacha, whose each Kavacha could be broken by a person who has been performing penance for 1,000 years. That's it. We have this penance that is being undertaken by Nara, and Narayana will fight, and Narayana will fight, and Nara will undertake. So there will always be they will alternate with each other, and they were able to vanquish the Asura by taking away 999 kavachams of him. Then when Indra sent the various Apsaras trees and Kamadeva, who's Kandarpa, Mara, to lure Bhagavan, that is when an incident happened. This is what Bhaṭṭatiri explains. Bhityala mangaja vasanta suranganavo manmanasam tviha jushadhvamiti bhruvanaha tvam vismayena paritaha stuvatamathayisham pradarshayah swaparicharaka katarakshihi. Hey Angaja, Vasanta, Angaja, because the one who is born of Narayana, whose Angas were taken away by Shiva, that Angaja, Vasanta, hey Vasanta Ritu, because when Vasanta comes is when Kamadeva gets excited. So he says, hey Angaja, hey Vasanta, Suranganaha Vaha Bhitya Alam. They were beautiful damsels. Do not be afraid. Somebody said, what did he do? Ihatu Jushadhvam Manmanasam. Indeed, enjoy the creation from my mind. So when the Apsaras trees along with Angaja, that is Kandarpa, and Vasanta Ritu and Malaya Parvatam and Malaya Kalam and that Vayu that comes from Malaya Parvatam, they all assembled in front of Nara-Narayana. Bhagavan said, don't worry at all. He gave it with a smile. Jushadhvam Manmanasam. Now I will do a creation, enjoy that. Bruvanaha ititvam pradarshayah. Saying so, Bhagavan revealed. What did he reveal? Swaparicharaka katarakshihi. He created beautiful damsels with enticing, very beautiful eyes. So, katarakshihi yesham, to Kamadeva and to all those Apsaras trees who had assembled, he said, Paritaha vismayena stuvatam. Look at them. Look at them. So when he gave it with a smile, at the same time they all reciprocated with wonder. They said, what is going to come out now? He did not get perturbed, nor he got lured. He gave a very, very beautiful smile and he's going to do something. What did he do? Sammohanaya milita madanadayaste tvaddasika parimalaihi kila mohamapuhu dattam tvayacha jagruhustrapayaiva swarvasi garva shamanim punarurvashim tam. He says, militaha sammohanayate. These damsels having come to entice you, lure you, they all came. Madanadayaha, they didn't come alone, they came under the leadership of Madana. Madanadayaha is Kandarpa. Madanadayaha kila apuhu moham. But the beauty is, they came to drive that passion within you. The way they saw you, the way you replied, the way you carried yourself, your aura, your beauty, they got excited in return. Apuhu moham tvaddasika parimalaihi. Now, with the charm that was radiated by your maids, those Sailendrika Stris who were serving you, Bhagavan, punahate eva trapaya jagruhu. Now those damsels who had come, looking at the Sailendrika Stris who were serving Bhagavan, they got very ashamed. They said, what kind of beauty are we seeing, blemishless to the core? And they got shy. Tam, at that point in time, Urvashi dattam tvaya. It is said, Bhagavan tapped on his thighs, and from his uru, thighs, emerged a beautiful damsel called Urvashi. So there is a beautiful kavyam, I am sure all of you must have heard. It is a natakam. It also has the kavya aspects in it. It is called Vikramurvashiyam by Mahakavi Kalidasa, where he talks about the love that happened between Pururavasraja and Urvashi. So this Urvashi is extremely described there, and where Kalidasa says, she emerged from the thigh of the Lord. Vedanta Deshika, the Acharya of the 13th century says, Striratna Karanam Upapatta Tritiya Varnam Daityendra Veera Shayanam Daitopadhanam Striratna Karanam. Isn't it this particular thigh that gave rise to a very beautiful Ratnam, damsel, Apsarastri, called as Urvashi? So he says, Punaha te eva trapaya jagruhu tam Urvashim dattam tvaya. As Bhagavan gifted that beautiful Urvashi to the Devas, sarva swarvasi garva shamanim. Thereby, when Urvashi started going with the walk, the gait of a swan, and she presented herself before the other Apsarastris, they were all amazed. They said, we have never seen such immaculate beauty in front of us. Then what happened? Drishtvorvashim tava katham cha nishamya shakraha paryakulo jani bhavan bahimam avarshat evam prashanta ramaniya tava taravatarat tvattodhiko varada krishna tanustvameva shakraha drishtva urvashim. Indra, who saw Urvashi emerge from Bhagavan's thigh, cha nishamya tava katham, after having heard so many of your pastimes, ajani paryakulaha, became highly perplexed. Bhavan mahima avamarshat, realizing the greatness that is attached to you. What did he do? Bhaṭṭatiri looks at Guruvayurappan Krishnan and says, hey Varada, hey Bhagavan, you gave boons. What boons do you give? List of boons that are imperishable, that will last long. Now, the beauty is, this Nara-Narayana avataram is extremely beautiful. But Bhaṭṭatiri says, see, if there is only one avataram which is more beautiful than this avataram, it is Krishna avataram. So, every time and again, he will keep thinking of Krishna avataram. He Varada, eva Krishna tanuhu, adhikaha tvattaha prashanta ramaniyatara avatarat. So, thereby, there is an avataram that took place which is more beautiful than this Narayana avataram, which is Krishna avataram. Tvam eva. Whether it is Nara-Narayana Avataram, whether it is Krishna Avataram, isn't it you, Krishna of Guruvayur, who has taken all these avatars? You are the very personification of such immaculate beauty, says Bhaṭṭatiri. Next, in the 9th shloka, he takes us through the Daksha Yaga Prakriya, for which he says that the circumstances that led to such a rivalry between the father and the daughter, the man and his son-in-law. Dakshastu dhāturatilālanaya rajondho natyādritastvaicha kashtama shantirāsīt yena vyarundha sa bhavattanumeva sharvam yajñecha vaira pishune swasutam vyamanīt. Dakshahatu ati lalanaya. Daksha, owing to his extreme indulgence, very materialistic attachment, dhatuhu rajondha, that too blinded by rajogunam, that particular gunam, nacha atyadritaha tvai, not very respectful towards you. At that point in time, ashantihi asit kashtam. Kashtam, what a calamity to see that man with. Ashantihi asit, with no peace of mind. That point in time, yena saha vyarundha, on this account, he antagonized. See, his mind was unclear. It was very, very, always unpeaceful. There was always a warmongering attitude in him. In such a situation, yena saha vyarundha, he antagonized whom? Sharvam bhavattanum eva. Bhavattanum, one form of yours, one aspect of yours whose Shiva was being ridiculed. He took him, he says, he antagonized him. Sharvam bhavattanum eva yajne vaira pishune. Thereby, what did Daksha want to prove to the world? That I will perform a yajnam where I don't invite this Shiva who's my son-in-law. So it is believed he performed the yagam in Haridwara, and Brihaspati Savena Vajapeyam Yajeta, says Vedam. So there was Vajapeyam and then there was Brihaspati Savam. All these yajnas were performed and everybody was invited but Shiva. So he says, Yajne Vaira Pishune Vyamanita Swasutamcha, just not his son-in-law, even his daughter Sati Dakshayani was not informed. So what happened as a result of it? So Parvati, when she knew that her father was ridiculing her husband, she went seeking justice so that Daksha, when reminded, will have the remorse. So she goes all the way to the Yajnavatika. The father doesn't bother about his daughter's emotions. At that point in time, through a yoga agni that gets emanated from the tip of her body, her entire body is burnt. Now, with this scene in mind, all the devas inform Shiva. So Shiva takes a part of his hair and creates a great Veerabhadra. Veerabhadra goes to the Yajnavatika and creates a havoc there. He takes all the Ganas start fighting the Rishis start fighting back. Some lose their teeth, some lose their mustache, some lose their beard, some lose their hair. But what happened to Daksha? Bastamukhaha. His head was chopped, it was cut. So now what will happen? That is when comes Shastram, that the head of the Yajna Pashu should be attached to him. The head of the goat should be attached to Daksha. So this particular thing happens during the Yajnam. Now when the Yajnam began on a note with complete followance to Shrauta Sutras, it did not accord due respects to Shiva. Thereby Dakshayani Sati got offended. She lost. Then Veerabhadra came and created havoc with so much around. Where does Bhagavan Narayana feature here? That is why he says, Kruddhesha mardita makaha satu kritta shirsho deva prasadita haradata labdha jivaha tvatpurita kratuvarah punarapashantim sattvam prashanti karapagi marutpuresha sahatu. That particular Daksha was described earlier. Kruddhesha mardita makaha, whose head was being destroyed by the Gana of Shiva. Kritta shirshaha atha labdha jivaha. Thereby he lost the head. And then his life was restored. Labdha jivaha. How? Deva prasadita harar. By Shiva himself who was being propitiated by the gods. Tvatpurita kratuvaraha. This is where the major aspect comes. When you begin a kratu, a yagam, you will have to complete it. That is one Vedam says you have to complete the yagam. That said, how do we understand that completion of a yagam here? That is when he says, Tvatpurita kratuvaraha. It was you, Bhagavan, who completed the yajnam. punaha apashantim, thereby you gave peace to this entire territory. He prashantikara, the one who has got prashanti, calmness of the mind. He marutpuresha, O Lord of Guruvayur, sahatvam pahi, may you of such great nature protect me, says Bhaṭṭatiri in this particular Dashakam.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते नारायण 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 नारायण